is happening, Jurassic Park fans? Welcome back to the channel. I am DL, and after 5 years, we have finally returned to the Jurassic Park franchise. I am joined today with very close friend and fellow YouTuber Shannon Jeffrey.
Hello. It's been 5 years?
Yeah, because I think we did the reviews back in 2018, right?
No way.
Yep, yep. It's been
No way.
It's been that long.
Oh my
So
gosh.
for longtime viewers of my channel, I we got some explaining to do. We were supposed to review Fallen Kingdom back in 2018 when it was came out. What happened? Well, we did go see Fallen Kingdom opening weekend. We did see that, and our plan was we were going to review it coming out of the theater. The thing
And we
was,
did.
huh? We
We
did. We did.
did.
We actually did. However, we had technical issues when we were reviewing it. For some reason, we recorded the review as we said. It was on the card, but for some reason we could not extract the memory from that so we could edit it. So
Yeah, I think it was corrupt.
it was corrupted. So like we tried numerous times to extract it and it never worked, and we were trying to like redo the review at some point but we never got to it, and then we eventually just forgot about it. Like, we're not gonna lie, we just forgot about it and life happened, so we're just like, okay, so very sorry about that. But for new viewers that don't know any of this, we did review the first four Jurassic Park films. We reviewed all three Jurassic Park movies, and we reviewed the first Jurassic World. If you guys haven't seen that, put a link in the description below so you guys can watch them. Back when I was called D-WIZZLE, now it was that long time ago. But yeah, so if you guys want to check those out, check it out. No, check out the link below. But Jurassic World Dominion is about to come out this weekend, so we decided to revisit it before that comes out, and then we're gonna go see it, and we'll give you guys our review for that as well. Are you looking forward to Dominion, Shannon?
I am very much looking forward to it, especially because I've been waiting for this since 2015 when the first Jurassic World came out. I've been waiting for all of my favorite characters to interact with each other. I really wanted to know how Dr. Grant felt about Jurassic World actually happening after all of the chaos that happened with Jurassic Park. So to finally get his point of view and to get Ellie's point of view, I'm so ready to see how they work together. So I don't know. People may say it's a cash grab, but I mean, like at this point, Universal can take all my money because I like this franchise too much.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm not excited for Dominion because I am looking forward to seeing the legacy characters come back and interact with the new character we have for the world films.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I do agree. This is definitely a cash grab. I felt like this franchise has become a cash grab after the first movie, but
I'm okay with it. I'll take it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like it.
yep. And you're the problem. Thank you very much. But like, I did like if like even though they feel like let's be honest, most movie franchises are cash grabs. Like, movies are made to make money, so it's like these movies make billions of dollars, so of course we're expecting franchises out of them. But just like after the quality we've gotten from the sequels, I'm like, do I think Dominion is going to be a good movie? Probably not, but at least be an entertaining time. Just be entertaining. Make the legacy characters good, and please be the last one.
I
Please.
don't see how they can make like another one after it. I mean, we haven't seen it, but I feel like they pulled out all the stops. I think I think they've done it all. I think we've seen it all.
Yeah,
So
that's what we said about Jurassic World, didn't we?
no, because the original characters weren't in Jurassic World. So I wanted to see how, like, I don't know, like what was gonna happen with the islands, and are they gonna have like another Jurassic Park 3 situation where someone is stupid and decides to go parasailing and they have to do a rescue mission, or like something like that. And I think there was like a little bit more that they could do with it after the first Jurassic World, but like uh I don't know what I'm talking
I
about.
mean, hey, if they can
But
make 10, if they can make like 11 Fast and Furious movies, I mean, I guess they can make.
sure.
I don't want them to make 11 Jurassic World films, but
Right.
it's whatever.
I think we've seen it all. I can't think of another like possible reason to spend millions dollars. Like, what would they pitch to Universal and be like, okay, we have to make another Park, Jurassic World movie or whatever, and it has to go like this. I don't like. I just don't see how everybody would be like, oh yeah, we need to add that to the storyline. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll possibly get into that when we talk about this film. So there
Yeah.
is one movie we have yet to talk about in this franchise, and it is, as we said, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, what a masterpiece.
Oh boy! So, well, to give a quick rundown of how we feel about the franchise up until this point, the first Jurassic Park is great. It's an amazing movie. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's one of her favorite films of all time. Such a great movie. Still holds up to this day. Like just the themes, the characters, the effects, like ahead of its time. Still very good effects to this day. Came out in 1993, right? And it
Yep.
still is great. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, big disappointment. Very underwhelmed. Um, Half the characters from the first film weren't there. The tone was all over the place. The logic started to not make sense. The physics of the dinosaurs were just like, what? Are you kidding me? I
Can you
still.
still do your Velociraptor impression where she does the swinging?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. This the still stupid scene of Malcolm's daughter up on the beams of the ceiling, and then what is she when the raptor is about to eat Malcolm? She goes, "Hey you!" to the raptor, and the raptor's like, look, actually turns and looks at her like, "Huh? Yes, can I help you?" And she does gymnastics kick at the raptor and crashes out the window. Still stupid scene. I, I hate it. But yeah, it's that stupid stuff like that in the Lost World.
Yeah.
Then we get to Jurassic Park 3. Man, almost killed the franchise for me. Don't like the movie at all. I don't.
It
I know
was
shit.
way better.
You
Way better
you
than The
think it's
Lost World.
way better than the Lost World, even though the logic makes even less sense in that movie. The characters are even more annoying in that. The Spinosaurus is the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus.
I like it. It's scary.
Uh, I,
That that particular dinosaur, that one I had nightmares about as a kid. Like that one did it for me. The Spinosaurus. That was scary. The airplane scene, I couldn't watch that as a kid.
oh, the crashing into the island and stuff, or the like. Actually, but yeah, they were like
When they're
trying to
in the
take off.
plane.
Yeah, they were trying to take off, but then the Spinosaurus like made it crash. Like that was yeah.
Yeah, and they were in the tree and then it fell down from the tree and they started getting like they were tumbling in the plane
Okay, yeah,
and then
okay.
they were smushing the plane and
Pushing the
then she
plane and
was
then
like digging
chased
her
by
nose into the
digging a nose and like yeah the and then
That was
like
so scary for me.
the 2 minute fight scene with the T Rex and the Spinosaurus,
Hmm.
and okay the pterodactyl
That was
sequence was
like
also
30
really good.
seconds.
Oh,
Hmm?
thank you for making it less. 30 seconds. Thank you very much. 30-second sequence of the Spinosaurus and the
It
T
was
Rex,
great.
and then the pterodactyl sequence I did really like. So there were two sequences I got there,
Hmm.
but you cannot justify to me the scene of how's the radio able to be heard in the stomach of the Spinosaurus when when stomach acid was supposed to. That was that. I'm like, are you?
The satellite phone. Which also, by the way, if it's in the stomach of a Spinosaurus, is it like does the battery like retain the charge or does it need to like see daylight in order to work, you know?
See, thank you for poking holes in it,
But
but
you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it cuz that was cool. That was a cool scene when they slowly turned around and like it was just standing there ringing.
I'm like, are you?
Oh gosh. That was good.
Oh boy, then the rafters. Okay, I'll say there's some cool stuff with the rafters in this. Like they're very intelligent in there, but I feel
Yeah.
like they've gotten too intelligent. Where it's like they're setting up traps for the humans, like it's a Looney Tunes cartoon. I'm like, did they really just set up this elaborate thing? I'm like, okay, wow,
Oh my
but
gosh, is that an anvil?
we could go all day with this. But like, you check out our Jurassic Park 3 review.
Yeah.
We go much more in depth with it. Okay, Jurassic World. I like Jurassic World. Like that's probably up until this point is probably the best Jurassic Park film since the first movie.
Hmm.
I don't think it's flawless though. I still think it has some logic holes in there, and there's some character motivations that I felt was kind of inconsistent. And I said at the time that the effects for the dinosaurs was probably the worst I've seen in the franchise up to that point, and I don't understand that. Like it came out in 2015, and the CGI is the weakest of all of them. Like how is that
Wait,
possible?
more weak than Jurassic Park 3?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, because like
No.
okay
They
now.
had animatronics in Jurassic Park 3 that looked like straight up like Chuck E. Cheese robots.
I mean, you're not wrong about that, but it's like okay, so I'll say the practical effects probably well, there's only probably like one practical effect I remember in Jurassic World with the Brachiosaurus, but like other than that, when it's CGI, like okay, it's not like horrible CGI. It's just like it just feels like a PS3, a really good PS3 cutscene, especially at the end fight with the Indominus Rex and the T Rex and
Mhm.
Blue. Like it's a really cool sequence, but it's like it didn't feel as polished as the previous movies. I'll even say the CGI in 3 like not great, but still they were more sparing with how they used it. You know, in World, it's just like kaiju monster fighting. Like I don't know. That's just personally how I felt about it.
Gotcha.
But
I mean,
go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, I love that scene.
Oh no, it's great. It's
With the
awesome.
T Rex and the raptor. And at one point, like, Blue got on the T Rex's back and was like just jumping like after the Indominus. I was like, that's pretty cool. That's literally nature versus like um what do they call it? Not like a it's not like a robot type of thing, but it's like nature
Uh,
versus like development
yeah,
and
I get what you're saying.
unnatural science, I
Right,
guess.
right.
But
Definitely. Like the sequences are great. Like yeah, that fight I'm still like heck yeah when it's happened. It's like it's so awesome. And like seeing the park up and running. That's like
mm,
something I want to see from a Jurassic Park sequel. Actually seeing the park up and running, people having fun there. Like it was very creative on that standpoint. So that's what I really appreciated about it. So after Jurassic World, at least in my opinion, I don't know how you felt about it, but I felt like after Jurassic World, I'm like, okay, we can end this. Like it's done. We don't need to make any more sequels. Like okay, it is disappointing that we didn't see Alan or Ellie or Malcolm, but it's like I don't feel like we needed them because like I feel like their stories are done because like they don't want to be involved with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World or anything to do with with that anymore. So it's like, why would they come back, for any reason other than to like protest against the park being up? So that's probably the only reason I would see them coming back. But it's like their stories are done. They don't need to, we don't need to bring them back. The movie made $1 billion for the most people. For the most part, people liked it. Not better than the first film, but it's like it didn't end on a sour note. With Lost World and 3. So it's like let's just leave it how it is. But of course, the unspoken rule in Hollywood: if a movie makes $1 billion, you will become a franchise. Like no choice. So yeah, I don't think they wasted too much time green lighting a sequel. So I was like, okay, well, let's just see where they go from here, I guess. Please don't be please don't be 2 and 3. Just don't
Yeah.
be 2 and 3. That's all I ask. You had something good with World. Just keep the magic, keep the fun of the world. It's like, and I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So as far as the marketing for this, like I was confused. I'll be real. I'll be very honest with the trailers. So, like, what they seem to be promoting mostly is that the dinosaurs were, about to die from the volcano on the island, and I was very confused about that because, wait, they had an active volcano at the island? Like, how did how were they not aware of that? But
Yeah.
okay, but that's not 90% of the marketing was that sequence with the volcano and not much else. So I'm like, and then the whole thing of like we got to save the dinosaurs from getting extinct from the volcano, and I'm like, I guess we haven't learned, huh? We still haven't learned our lesson. Okay, sure. And then they're once again making another genetically modified dinosaur, and I'm like, oh boy, well, this is gonna be a mess. But like, I'm hoping in the context of the movie, all this stuff that I'm seeing, like it'll make sense, right? Like, there's a purpose behind it, correct? But I don't know. We'll see. The director they have for this movie, Colin Trevorrow, directed the first Jurassic World, but he did not come back to direct this one. He did help write the script and the story for it, so he was still involved, and I think he was producing along with Spielberg. Still, I think is Spielberg still producing these movies?
I think
Um,
so.
okay, so they got J.A. Bayona. I'm sorry, J.A. Bayona to direct this. He did stuff like The Orphanage, The Impossible, A Monster Calls, and that's pretty much it. Other stuff is like real indie stuff. So I'm
Mhm.
like, that's very interesting. They got this director to do it, but I'm like, okay, well, Colin brought him on for a reason, I guess. I think
Yeah.
they brought him in actually because, like, as we established, Colin Trevorrow was supposed to direct Star Wars Episode 9, but as we know, had a falling out, so he was probably busy with that at the time. So that's probably why he didn't come back. But anyway, I know don't know much about this director. I did not see A Monster Calls. That's probably the most well-known movie that that I've heard from him,
Mhm.
but haven't seen it. But like, we'll see what happens with this one. What he brings to the table. Um, so as we said, we did see this opening weekend. Um, we saw this on a matinee. And what were my thoughts? What did I think about Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom? Well, I think this is the worst Jurassic Park film. This is the worst one. This movie is terrible. It's probably the most illogical film I've seen in a very long time. I I was so mad. um rewatching it for this review, it just made it worse for me. I I cannot believe the the decisions that were made in this movie. And it's like I thought Colin had something good going with the first film,
Mhm.
And I thought he actually understood the world of Jurassic Park, like he understood what we wanted to see. And I'm just like, this movie shouldn't even exist. This movie doesn't even feel like a film. This feels like a transition period so they can get to what they really want to do with what they're setting up with Dominion. This is literally just set up so we can get the dinosaurs roaming free on the earth. That's pretty
Mhm.
much what this feels like. Um and if you were hoping that they would keep any of the nuance or any of the physics, anything any like lessons that they established in the first film, yeah, it's gone. It's gone. It's mostly gone. Like any lessons that they learned from the first film, like it's completely abandoned. People are still making stupid decisions, like stuff that they even establish in like the sequels, like 2 and 3. They're not even consistent with that either. In Jurassic World, they're not even consistent with that either. It feels like they're just making up stuff as they go along. So it's like I guess I'd say I'm very disappointed in this film, but like my expectations were so low, and it somehow was below my expectations. It's down to the ground, like what it ended up being. I really don't like this movie. I really don't. But that's how I feel. Tell us, Shannon, what are your thoughts on Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom?
Oh boy. Well, I would agree with you that I think that they could have just ended it with Jurassic World. I think that the first one just kind of showed us everything that we needed to see. And I remember when they announced um Fallen Kingdom, and they were like, "Oh, that's, it's going to be exciting because we have a member of the original Jurassic Park cast joining us and stuff like that." And it's like, everyone got really excited for it, but I remember thinking like, but why do we need, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? And uh but like I was still excited for it because I still wanted to see, like, how they were going to develop the storyline further. And I felt kind of like, I almost felt like safe if they had an original, character join in, because like, oh, well, maybe they're really trying hard not to, like, separate from the Jurassic Park roots. Um, but uh I don't know. I think the only way they didn't really separate from the Jurassic Park franchise in this case is that they had a terrible sequel, just like Jurassic Park. Um, that's kind of how I saw it. But yeah, I think that, like, it doesn't change the fact that I'm going to see the next one because
I
I
mean, me
want
neither.
to. But yeah, I think that it just, a lot of it didn't make sense. I remember watching it in the theater and thinking, why don't they just move the dinosaurs over to Site B? Because there's another island, so why did they move it into the mainland? Why did they move it into the continental US where, you know, society is? So, um, that's kind of that kind of threw me. um and I wondered why, like, characters like Owen, who are super, not only like, you know prideful and kind of set in his ways, but also very very smart, and just not dumb. He's not a dumb character, so why would he think it was a good idea to move a bunch of dinosaurs into, like, how could he be persuaded into that? You know what I mean? So, like, the characters who, were like good characters, and the characters that we were following in the first Jurassic World, they just made a really dumb decision. It kind of seemed a little bit off to me to think that they would think that that was a good idea. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, of course you have to, like, save them and step in, if that's what you feel, but like, why would you think that it's a good idea to move them into the continental US? But yeah, and then in a way, I think that if they had just listened to Malcolm, for once. Maybe it would have been probably best. Even I don't know. I believe in interfering to help the natural world in a positive way at times, like, you know, nonprofits helping clean the ocean and stuff like that. But like, and I think that that's what they were trying to allude to, where it's like, sometimes you have to step in to help the, environment and help animals and yada yada. But like, it also came back to really like bite them later on, so in the storyline. So I feel like that message, I don't know if it fully came through either. um so I don't know, it kind of didn't make sense, it contradicted itself. And yeah, I think that in a way they didn't really care all that much. They were just trying to make a movie that ended with dinosaurs entering society and having to have this last battle with like very high stakes, so where it's like, pterodactyls taking over Vegas and all this stuff like that. But yeah, I'd have to agree with you that they had all these like environmental, messages behind them that just were kind of contradicting themselves. Um and it just felt like they were trying to go from one point to the next in the storyline, and that was it. That was like their main concern. So
Yep.
I don't know if
So,
I explained that right, but
oh no, no, I think you put it better than I did. But
oh, good. I'm
the
glad.
contradictions everywhere, and we will talk
Yeah.
about them. But before before we tear this apart, but I do wanna get out the way the stuff that I did like, because there's not a lot. I'll get those out the way, and if anything you like, I'll let you say. But there's two things. One, um, the visual effects in this movie are excellent. I have complained in the previous sequels that somehow the effects kept getting worse after the first movie, even though they came out after the first movie. And even I have my issues with the effects in the world, even, but it's like I feel like now, finally, with this movie, I think the effects hold up to the first film. Um, the CGI looked very good. The practical effects looked really good as well. The transition between CGI and practical is what I really like to see in films, and they did that very well in this movie. The dinosaurs borderline look real again, so thank God for that. Really like that. It's I like yeah, I'm glad we got Malcolm back in this movie, even though he's only in it for probably less than 5 minutes.
I
But
know. And he was like a big, like, everyone was talking about how he was going to have a part in the film. He was there for, I was so like bummed watching it in theater and be like, he's like in this movie for like 30 seconds. What the heck?
yeah, and it's like I kind of figured that because like with the marketing, they only showed him in the courtroom. So
Mm,
I'm like, oh, he's probably not in the movie that much, is he? Because they're only showing him in the courtroom. So that ended up being the case. But the little he was in it was one of my favorite parts of the movie because he's one of the few people in this film that's actually saying stuff that makes sense. And
yeah.
of course, nobody wants to listen to him.
They should have just moved him to Site B. Why
Should
didn't they just propose that ever to like the rich people? And then, well, because the group that they were working with, I don't remember who they were, but like, he was like a double agent practically. He was working for um Hammond's friend who was in the movie. Um and then
yeah.
but he was secretly like running that organization that moved the dinosaurs over to the mainland to sell them, to ultimately sell them. But like,
Hmm.
like they probably would have been like, no, no. But like, why didn't she question that, when they came to Bryce about um,
Yeah.
or Claire.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let's just get into it because like we can't we speak that
I
much positives right now.
I do have a couple of good things to say, I
Okay.
guess.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But I did think the acting was really good in some cases. Like Bryce and Chris were, really great together. And there were moments that kind of moved, like the Brachiosaurus and like that scene. Um,
Oh, like when they're leaving the island
the
and like they
Brachiosaurus.
left the Brachiosaurus by himself.
Yeah, that was,
Th-
like that was sad.
Yeah.
That broke my heart. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, and just like what you said, I thought the CGI was really good. I think a couple of the new characters, um, they did a good job. I really liked the scene when they got into the gyrosphere and they fell into the water and they had kind of just like this um one cut where they were kind of like panning around the gyrosphere and then you
Uh,
see Chris Pratt coming up. I thought that that was like a really nice choice technically.
mm.
I think the camera work was really cool. We didn't get these cuts, we just got this suspenseful shot of them panicking in the gyrosphere as if we were there with them, and I thought that that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
um, and yeah, I think just the volcano erupting, that scene was really suspenseful and fun to watch. But I think it just, once you enter the mainland and you're going through all of that, like, like the mansion scenes and stuff like that, that's where it really, for me, went downhill. But I'll
Yeah.
definitely talk about why
Uh-huh.
as soon as you prompt me to. But
Oh, no worry. Um, okay, so look, I know like they're trying to make a franchise here, so they're really trying to stretch the logic and the motivations so there can be sequels, right?
Mhm.
But that is my issue with this, because like it's clear that this movie is trying to justify its existence because like with the sequels we've gotten one accident after the next. This has happened 4 times already, and nobody has learned their lesson at this point. Like no one. How many accidents is it going to take for them to be like, okay, the dinosaurs need to go. We can't control them. We can't we can't domesticate them. We can't turn this into theme park attractions because every time the dinosaurs get free and people get hurt and or killed. How many times is it going to take for them to understand that? That's just the main thing I'm just caught up with. And then it's like the whole thing with them trying to okay, so this is what they set up in the first Jurassic World is that they're trying to militarize the dinosaurs stuff like that. Um First of all,
Yeah, I think they're selling them for like military purposes,
yes,
militaristic purpose.
right.
Yeah.
And it feels like even that plot point is like abandoned. They don't go too much into detail with that than what we already know. Okay, they're gene splicing and that's it. But it's like they're not even going into more detail about that about and they're also trying to auction off dinosaurs that aren't even like ready. They're prototypes, right? And this is the logical stuff that just keeps building on top of this movie. But it's like they're not even taking the right if they're trying to genetically modify these dinosaurs, they're not taking the right protocols to
Yeah.
make sure that they're ready.
I think that that was entirely like for the sake of showing how exploitive and greedy people can be. So I think they enhanced that a little bit too much where it just doesn't logically make sense. They're like,
No.
this guy really wants money, so we're gonna make him want to sell the Indoraptor before it's ready, and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, but don't you have like a list of things to auction off that you're allowed to auction off beforehand? So it's like, how do you have a late entry anyway?
Right, right. No, no, no.
I don't know how auctions
No,
work.
let's peel this. Let's peel this band-aid even more, because like they're also still auctioning off regular dinosaurs, no
Yeah.
gene splicing with them at all. So, do the people that are trying to buy the dinosaurs, do they have their own laboratory where they're about to gene splice them? Why are you selling off dinosaurs that aren't genetically modified?
Yeah. And
Like,
what the heck is the Indoraptor? Like how did they do that so fast?
I want to save the
It must have
Indoraptor stuff
explained.
for later, because like that's a whole other can of worms as well. But like,
I
but
think that's the one genetically modified one, right? And they're all like
all the other
the
ones are regular, like
yeah,
dinosaurs.
regular, like Jurassic
Regular.
World regular. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's another thing. So the like, what we really liked with the first Jurassic Park is that, while these are genetically modified creatures, they didn't forget the fact that these are still technically animals, right? And they
Hmm.
still acted like animals. And they, for the most part, they tried to make them feel like, they're reacting to nature as they're supposed to. But these dinosaurs now, they don't feel like animals anymore. They just feel like monsters. They don't act like regular animals anymore. Like the senses and, like, abilities abilities that the dinosaurs can do doesn't make sense. And like, they're doing stuff just so they can make a cool action set piece, or have some suspenseful sequences with the humans, without logically thinking, is that how a dinosaur would actually act? Would a dinosaur actually be able to do this? Who cares? It looks cool.
I know like they did that with the Indoraptor a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like seeing the dinosaurs in like a mansion, what kind of gave you that feeling, right? Where it's like, oh, they're not where they're supposed to be, maybe.
So they're not reacting like they're supposed to, because they're in an environment they don't understand. So,
Yeah.
okay, I almost want to give them the benefit of the doubt with that, I guess. but um, but okay. So another thing. So there's this whole thing, as we said, with Malcolm in court trying to, like, convince everyone, like, okay, man, I'm just thinking of so many problems coming up when I'm trying to focus on one. But in order to talk about one, we have to talk about the other thing. So let me okay. So what they're establishing in the movie is that they're Isla Nublar, the place where they made the park, where they actually had it open for the public to be, apparently they had an active volcano.
Yeah. That's like I guess they said that they didn't anticipate that the volcano would be active. I
Okay,
don't know.
but you've
That the
you've been
plates move just enough.
you have some of the greatest scientists in the world able to create genetically modified dinosaurs. You've been on that island for 30 years at least. And you guys didn't do your research before doing your experiments and creating a park on the island to make sure that something like that doesn't happen anytime soon, or if it does, you will have the right protocols and means to abandon the island if that does happen. But this volcano is erupting literally 3 years after the first film, after the events of the first film. If this volcano was going to erupt 3 years after the events of the first film, they should know about it. They should be aware that it could possibly happen. Like, so that does not make any sense. Why would you put these dinosaurs and create a park on an island that it could possibly erupt from a volcano that soon? And they weren't aware about it for 30 years. No.
No.
Just no. But hey, let's go with that logic. Okay, the volcano is about to erupt. It's about to kill all the dinosaurs. They already had the accident with the Indominus Rex in the first film, so the park's shut down already, so people aren't there. Actually, no. Actually, no. I'm wrong because the opening sequence, there are people still there trying to get stuff from the island. That opening sequence in the
The
rain.
Indominus.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
very.
bone of the Indominus.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you people? But but so now you have Malcolm trying to plead in court that they should just let the dinosaurs die from the volcano because it's clear up until this point it is not safe to have these dinosaurs. They tried numerous times to domesticate these dinosaurs and create them into theme park attractions.
Domesticate
That's
dinosaurs.
literally what they're trying to do, domesticate these dinosaurs, and it's not working. People are getting killed numerous times. There's no substantial evidence to convince anyone that they should have these dinosaurs still be alive. There's nothing. Nothing. But
Are zoo animals considered domesticated?
probably not. At least not all of them.
Okay.
I don't think so. Any people that work at the zoo that's watching, please let me know of that fact.
But I feel like they're very domesticated in this next film because they're like riding on the backs of them like they're horses. They feel very much like pets at this point. Literally, like they found the cure to inflation. Just get a dinosaur to ride on. You know, that's how they fixed it.
If
Gas prices, no problem. Get yourself a dinosaur.
oh no.
Name him Jerry or something.
Oh boy. So
Anyway, sorry.
no, no, it's okay. Gee, that's funny. But so so this whole thing of Malcolm trying to be like let the dinosaurs die from the volcano, but for some reason you have these woke SJW Gen Z activists trying to figure out a way to save the dinosaurs, and it's led by Bryce Dallas Howard from the first movie.
Which I would be on their team, but they should have just moved the dinosaurs to Site B, to
Yeah,
another island.
yeah. We'll get to that point in a minute, but like, I'm
Let's make
just,
it clear.
I'm just stuck on why would okay? I'm sorry. Let me. What's the character's name? Bryce Dallas.
Claire.
Claire. Okay, so why would Claire be leading an activist group to save the dinosaurs? Because I'm not convinced from the first film that she would care this much.
I think that they were trying to make that point. Like in Jurassic World, the Brachiosaur scene, like she really changed her ways, and was really respectful towards those animals and really saw who they. But like, it's so weird how she kind of juxtaposes Grant in that way because I remember in the third one, he was talking to Eric and he was saying how he wrote another book and Eric read that other book and was saying like, I liked your first one better. You liked dinosaurs. And, Grant was like, um, back then they hadn't tried to eat me yet. So, like, yeah, so it's kind of interesting how their kind of reactions really like juxtapose each other, like towards dinosaurs, the reaction towards dinosaurs after encountering them like head on like that. I don't know. I mean, I guess I understand like, she's her belief in like just moving the dinosaurs and helping them, but like I would be in a way more like Owen or not Owen, sorry, Grant,
I
because
mean, Owen too, because he's like,
yeah, he's a bit skeptical too, right?
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like moving them into the mainland for them to be caged and not, like what did she think ahead, like that type of thing. Like, did you not like spend an entire day like running desperately for your life away from dinosaurs and now you're like, "Oh, we must move them to the continental US to save them." Again, just move them to site B if you're that, you know. It
Right.
just kind of had a, yeah, but I'm with you there. She kind of had a weird like character thing. And I think it was because they were like, she really just changed her ways and had like such a great respect for dinosaurs. But it's like, okay, but also she had like a bunch of near death experiences with dinosaurs. So I'm not sure if I'd be that eager to be like, yes, let me go pet that T Rex over there and tell him how much I love him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
But
like
I probably would help move the dinosaurs to another non-volcanic location that's far away from my family. You know what I mean? So,
yes, yes, exactly. Now, going back to the first film, adding on top of what you're saying, because you're 100% correct. Um, with the first movie, it like okay, there's one thing where yes, you can have respect and appreciation for these living creatures. Yes, you can admire them. That's you can admire them all you want. But like because Ellie, and Malcolm in a way respected and admired the dinosaurs, right? You had that you had the scene in the first film where it's like they saw they had a triceratops like laying on the ground looked like it was dying, right? And like they were trying to help it, right? Okay. But as you said, the same day they were running from raptors, T-Rexes, and all that stuff. They had near-death experiences. So their admiration and respect for the creatures did not take away from the fact that they know it's not safe for these animals to be alive. So, and they did not try to go back to the island at all with, within their own power at least, It's like they did not want anything to do with the dinosaurs anymore. They did not care what happened to them after that because while they did appreciate the dinosaurs, they were artificial life that should not have been created. They understood that fact. So, what
yeah, that was
makes
Malcolm's point.
exactly. So, Claire like from starting off from the get go, cared even less about the dinosaurs. And yes, you could have that little moment with the Brachiosaurus, that was in Jurassic World. Okay, that's nice, that's fine. But I don't think that's enough, as you said, for her to become a straight up activist, being like, we need to save the dinosaurs, we need to move them somewhere. Like, no, I just.
Yeah, I mean, she could be like, an activist and have like a great respect for them and, want to save them, but who in their right mind would be like, they're going to be fine after going through the failure of the human error of Jurassic World? How could she be like, it's totally fine to move them into society or near society? You know what I mean? Like
Right,
it's on the same land. So like that's where I think that the confusion is. Like why would she think it was a good idea and how did she manage to convince Owen that it was a good idea, you know? I
right,
feel like that's the character flaw in the
right.
writing. So, I don't know.
Exactly. And it's like, and even if they want us to be convinced that that's how she feels and that's what she wants to do, the story that's playing out is not convincing. I don't think it's convincing the audience enough for us to be behind her decisions because we still have the previous movies in mind. And yes,
Mhm.
you do have some nice sentimental moments with the dinosaurs here and there, but that's not enough to ignore the bigger picture that, so it's just like I don't know. They're not doing a good job with like it just as you said, it just feels like their priorities are all over the place.
Mhm.
Um okay, so since you want to bring it up, the site B stuff. So, let's talk about that. So apparently um John Hammond from the first movie, the person that created the park in the first place, apparently had a partner that was never talked about. in the previous movies that worked alongside him when the parks were being developed.
Yeah.
No, no. But okay, sure. Let's go along with it. Lockwood, that's his name. All right, so he calls Claire to his mansion. That becomes a big plot point later on in the movie. Calls him over to his mansion to be like, he's along with her, with her, goal to trying to save the dinosaurs. He wants to save them too. His whole thing, these dinosaurs don't need our help. They need our absence. Keep that in mind. That's what he says. Keep that in mind. Okay. So, his whole thing is that he wants to save the dinosaurs and bring them to, as I said, another island that's like um not. Wait, what was it again? You said it perfectly. What was the island
Site
again?
B.
Site was is that what they were? Is that where they were trying to move them to, or was it a completely different island?
I think it was, well, they moved them to the mainland.
The mainland. Okay, yeah, that's what goes. The
They
mainland.
ended up moving them into the mainland.
Right.
Wait, was that, did they say that they were going to move it to a different place and then move it to the mainland and lie to them, or did they know that they were going to, cuz then that'll change my whole perspective of the
Okay.
characters, but I can't remember that one detail.
So Lockwood just wants to bring them to a different island, not bring them into the mainland because as he said, he thinks it's a bad idea for the dinosaurs to be interacting with the humans. However,
Okay.
his assistant Eli has other tactics to bring him into the mainland and he does the auction and stuff like that in his mansion without him knowing.
That's
So,
my bad. I think
yeah.
I completely forgot about that part. So they
Uh
lied to Claire and Owen.
yes.
Then that completely changes my whole thing. I'm totally on board with how Claire was written then, because I get it. It's like, okay, I have a newfound respect. We just have to safely move them over to the island for them to live their happy days out, basically.
Right.
That's their perspective.
Yep.
I would have that same perspective, I think, if I were Claire. So, yeah, I think I would have to agree with the initiation of those characters into Fallen Kingdom. I think that makes, I think it does make sense to me now. I just completely forgot about that plot
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
My bad. I
Okay.
thought they were like, yeah, let's move them over to San Francisco,
San
you know?
Francisco, something like
See
that.
if
Like,
they, yeah, see if they want to, try their luck in Vegas. And, like, I thought that they were doing that. I thought they were on board with moving them over to the US.
oh no, no, no.
Got it.
If that was the case, man, I would have walked out the theater if that was the case. I'm like,
Yeah,
you are a
I
dumbass,
totally
Claire.
missed that plot point. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is my bad.
No, that's
No.
okay. There's a lot of stuff happening in this movie that's like illogical, but yeah.
I
So
kind of blank a little bit when watching.
just like Lost World, you blanked on a lot. When I was explaining what happened in San Francisco, you're like, wait, that happened? It's like, it's like,
I
yeah.
just remember the dog getting eaten, and I was like, I'm done with this movie.
But
But I will remember every detail of Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic
Jurassic
World.
World. Yeah.
So no worries.
Nope, it's Lost World and Fallen Kingdom. You're like, nope.
It's a lost world up here. Thinking about those. Okay, I
Yeah.
totally remember now. Okay.
Right. So, okay. So I think Lockwood is fine, even though he's totally made up for this movie just to create a more elaborate plot. But like, his motivations, I guess, are fine, even though I wouldn't touch the dinosaurs at all and let them die. But it's like, okay, he has some sympathy for the dinosaurs. Okay, but and it's not like he's saying that he wants to bring them into the new into our into the country at all. So it's not like he wants them to interact with the dinosaurs. So it's like, okay, that's fine. I understand what you're doing. Just bring them into another island, where the volcano's not going to blow up, and just let the dinosaurs be, So okay, fine. Um, but okay, what is stretching the logic though is let's go back to Eli. Um, how does Lockwood not know that Eli is taking the dinosaurs not only into the mainland, but into his mansion, doing auctions underground in his mansion. And he, well, not underground, but like literally like a couple floors down, doing auctions. Lockwood is not aware that any of this stuff is happening in his house.
Yeah. Plot point. I think that he's just like so senile. Maybe that was their, like, he was, he was older. Wasn't he like practically on his deathbed by the end, and then he dies?
Yeah.
So I guess they were trying to make it like, oh, he's just,
Or Eli killed him, but yeah.
I mean, how did Hammond not know that he hired a guy who ended up, being a double agent practically to sell the dinosaur
I mean, that's
eggs?
one thing. Okay, I know. I knew you.
You
I knew you
dropped
were
my
gonna bring
wand.
that up. Oh,
Yeah,
which one is that, by the way?
it's Ginny's.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think, you know what, my mistake is that I'm very excited for Jurassic World, like this next Jurassic World, because a few weeks ago I went to Universal and I
Mm.
rode the Velocicoaster, and now I'm just all Jurassic World up. I'm ready to go for this next one. They
Yeah,
really
the
hyped it up over there. So
hype is
anyway,
real.
anyway,
Anyway, and her playing with the wand is a tease that the Wizarding World podcast are coming.
yes,
They are coming.
yes,
Um, but yeah, so I'm glad you brought up. Okay, so Wayne Knight in the first film was like doing underhanded tactics to sell like dinosaur DNA from Hammond. Okay,
hmm,
so the difference with that is, first of all, Wayne Knight did a much better job hiding his trail than what Eli's doing in this movie. And it's like there's always like with what how they set up their operation in the first movie, it leaves a lot more for him to hide, so it's like, and it's like the way, with the whole thing with Dotson getting him the can or whatever, and it's like, and he's like one of Hammond's most trusted scientists there, so it's like I'm able to buy a little bit more that Wayne Knight was able to get away with something like that.
really,
Yeah, just a little bit. Now, of course, it is possible for him to, get caught, but it's like he's hiding his trails better. In this one, literally, like, it's not like Lockwood has like a whole island to himself where he's not aware of everything going on. All of this is happening in the place where he lives, his own house. So it's like I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't see or pick up or hear anything going on in his own house, a couple of levels down. He doesn't look out the window at least one time to see if there's dinosaurs coming into his house or
he was.
people coming into his house. Like, I just, it's just hard for me to buy that. Like, it's not like he has an entire facility, like the part in the first film where it's like, okay, they probably are hiding stuff on this part of the island so people aren't aware of that or like whatever. Like, it's just the logic, they're just really stretching it at this point. So I just had a hard time believing that personally. um and then the whole thing with the okay, the Macy. Macy. ah, ah I
Don't
probably
even
want
get me started
to
with that girl.
oh boy, okay, I probably want to save like her twist for later on, because that's another whole can of worms on top of the Indoraptor. But like, save that. But as far as Macy, fine as a character, fine. She's a little girl, not much to her, just established, and it's like they're trying to make us like like be invested in her family lineage, even though they just made up the family lineage in this movie with the Lockwoods. We didn't know who the Lockwoods were before this film. Why should I care about what happened to her mother or her father? Like, why should I care? We don't get to
Honestly,
know this girl at any, in any way, but sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, she's like, we get a lot of kids in Jurassic Park, right? We got the
Yes.
two OG kids, we get the two kids in Jurassic World, we get Malcolm's daughter. Like, so you get like a lot of kids. She is one of my least favorites, Macy.
Oh, she is my least favorite kid of all
She's
the movies.
weird. It's not even like what she did or what the actress did, because I thought the actress is really cute.
Yes.
Um,
Her acting was fine.
yeah, but like, her what they did, the
What they
twist,
did, yeah.
and I'll explain more when you
When
talk
we
about
get
the
there.
twist, but
Right, right.
it's
Why didn't they
weird.
bring it is weird. Like, why didn't they bring back the boys from the first Jurassic World?
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's like it seems like they're not coming back in Dominion either.
No. And I heard actually that they were going to come back in Fallen Kingdom when they first released it. And then I think that they were getting like credited for it and then taken out. Well, at least the younger one
Mm,
and the Insidious actor who I can't remember his name for some reason right now. But
yeah.
Gray was his character's name. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that he was at least supposed to come back. But yeah, it is. I mean, they at least had, um, you know, shoot, the OG girl,
Um
the
oh gee.
Unix system,
Uh
the hacker. Uh,
the hacker. Oh, wait,
yeah,
when did she appear?
they had her in the second movie
Oh, they
for,
did have the kids in the second movie for
in
that.
Lost World.
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
quick
they were both
cameo.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, that's cool, but like, and I thought that maybe like they'd have like another cameo or something, but yeah, they're just like,
It's like they probably won't appear in Dominion either. Like,
yeah, which is
dang.
like, I get it.
Yeah.
You don't really want to come back to the roots, but to the theme
True.
park, but um yeah, they just keep adding people in.
Yeah, just adding more and more characters, and they're adding even more characters in Dominion. I'm like, do you need to do this? Like, it's the sequel, it's the Star Wars sequel trilogy stuff all over again. Why you keep adding more and more characters? Like,
Yeah,
but
as long as they need to, I think that I feel like they just added Macy in just to shock people. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I keep trying to think of a way as to why they would connection between the two species, between human and dinosaurs. Have someone really sympathize with the dinosaur? I have no idea. But
they're doing
anyway,
a horrible job with that, but we'll get into that later.
yeah.
So the whole thing with the whole elaborate thing of them trying to get the dinosaurs off the island, and it's led by I was getting major Lost World vibes from this. So the Ken, the main hunter dude, I'm like, just gave away completely that. Oh yes, of course they're gonna double cross them. They're about to double cross them, aren't they? He just reads, "I'm a double crosser." Like, right from the get go, and of course that happens. So the whole sequence with them trying to get the dinosaurs off the island, and then the volcano erupts. Um, oh, I guess we should also mention. Sorry if I'm all over the place because I keep thinking of things all over again. So their other motivation with trying to get the dinosaurs off the island is that they've put out there that Blue, the raptor from the last movie, the main raptor from the last movie, is the most intelligent, second most intelligent species on the planet. So I'm like, oh boy, he's just making Blue a MacGuffin now. We need her DNA so we can splice it and clone it and make more militarized dinosaurs. She's the next stage in evolution. I'm like, oh my god, why? No. But yeah, so great. Yeah, she's the key. She's the key. Blue's the key. Well, that's stupid. So going to this island. They go along with so the one of the girls that was with the activist movement with Claire, Zia, didn't like her. I really didn't care for her. She was just very bitchy. Um, and she was it felt she's one of those characters that's like trying too hard to make prove a point that like she's independent, and it's like, she can do all the stuff that a man does, if not better. But then she gets captured by the bad guys within 4 minutes. I'm like, how strong of a character are you? Really?
Yeah, I think that that was the main flaw is that, like, they had her get captured. Like, I just think that they wrote her just wrong, and then I would have liked her more if they just didn't write her wrong. I think they just didn't do her justice, I feel like. She could have been a really tough, like, cool character, but then, like, they had moments where she just kind of flubbed
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's like
I liked her.
you liked her. I'm
Yeah.
glad you did. I mean, look, she did have some useful moments when she's trying to say blue and stuff like that. Like she did,
Yeah.
and like played a part with the whole with the mansion sequence. So like there was, not saying like she's a useless character, but it's just
Mhm.
like, if you're going to make a strong female character, be consistent with how strong she is. That's just how I'm saying. And then like independent woman does not mean bitchy. I don't need a man. You don't need to write strong female characters like this. You don't. You don't have to go out your way and have them act like that. you know? So it's like I just don't like that. Um but anyway, but okay, the worst character in this movie. Hold on, let me pull this guy up.
You're not gonna say it was the guy. Okay, I'm just gonna.
Franklin played by Justice Smith. The worst character
I
in
love
this
him.
movie.
He was so great because his screams were so good and
It's so
it
annoying.
was so funny.
I'm getting
I
hot
love
flashes of
him.
those annoying parents from Jurassic Park 3. That bad. He was
No,
that bad. He
no, I thought that those two actually worked well together. I don't know. I liked them. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead. Tell me how much you liked Franklin in this movie. Go ahead.
I like him. I thought that, he had a little bit of, when there's like fear and panic and you see like Bryce is reacting, you know, like a crazy maniac trying to like solve the like problem of them being stuck in, I think it was like a bunker or something with a dinosaur like following after them. And all of a sudden you get like these moments where Franklin just like screams like high pitch. I think it's like almost a little bit of a comedic like relief, but it doesn't take you out of the panic. I thought he was really good in the volcano, like in the island scenes. It was just really fun to watch. I thought he did a really good job at that.
Okay. Okay.
It wasn't too comical that like it really took you out of the suspense, but he was still a bit amusing. It's like, "Oh my gosh," because it's a nerd, it's like some geek that I feel kinda like I relate to a little bit because he came off a bit awkward at first and young, so it was kind of fun to see, like, you know, a a Gen Z-like character kind of reacting in a Jurassic Park scenario. I don't know. It was fun to me. I kinda liked it.
After watching this movie, I think I come to the realization that Gen Z characters in films are awful. They're just
Really?
or just okay. I wouldn't say all of them are awful, but most of them like it just they just take down whatever I'm
If
watching.
it's if it's like Netflix type of writing where they walk in and they start making TikTok references and they hit the low or something like that, like I will lose my mind. Like I'll black out a little bit when I see that. But like if it's kind of I liked Franklin as a character though. I think that his writing seemed pretty good because he wasn't like okay, be a Gen Z type of character without being a Gen Z type of character, if that makes sense. You know, you
And what
don't
does
have
he end
to
up doing? Acting Gen Z times 10.
how though? How? Explain to me how.
Okay, here's my thing about that about Franklin, okay? So I'm not expecting every character to react to dinosaurs very well, okay? So I do expect there to be characters that freak out, at the sight of dinosaurs, okay? So my problem is not him being scared, but he felt like a chicken with his head cut off
He was a bit too
most of the
doe-eyed.
time. It was too much to the fact where when he has to act when he's about to encounter a dinosaur, he just like he doesn't do everything in his power right in that second to act on it. He just freezes and just like, oh, I'm like, run, you stupid! You are stupid! Run! Stop screaming and run! Do something! Like, I'm just tired of it. I'm sick of, like, up to the point, just being obsessed with the T Rex. Like, I don't want to see a T Rex. No, is that a T Rex? Oh my god, I don't want to see a T Rex. I'm scared. What is a T Rex? T Rex, T Rex, T Rex. Shut up. Just shut up. Why did you take this job in the first place? You knew you were going to get encounter dinosaurs. Why did you take this job if you were this scared? Like, I just don't understand.
They didn't know that they were going to have that close of an interaction, though, in an unsafe situation.
And there's the logic that I'm talking about. We are 5 movies in. The moment you set foot on that island, you will encounter dinosaurs. It will happen. You should learn from the previous movies
But
that you will.
they thought they were safe and protected by those people who were actually, like, undermining them and going against them.
Okay, yeah, okay. Uh,
So, he
okay.
was not prepared.
Okay. You do have a point. You do have a point. I understand that. I guess my main thing with Franklin is that I was annoyed with how much he was screaming. It was too much for me how much of a scaredy cat he was. It felt like he was a liability because he was panicking so much. There were a couple of moments where he was useful,
Mhm.
trying to open gates and stuff like that so they can escape or whatever. Okay, he was useful, but it's just
Especially at
like,
the end. Those 2, both of them at the end were really helpful, I think.
yeah, it's just either with Zia, she just comes off as, a stuck up bitch, or Franklin just acting like a scared ass bitch. Like, that's not likable to me. That just comes off annoying. That's just my main. I guess I have a lower tolerance for characters like that. Like, it'll be funny if when he's doing the high pitched screaming, if he did it once, maybe twice, and it comes out of nowhere. But he doesn't do it once. He doesn't do it twice. He doesn't do it 3 times. He screams 4 to 5 times in this movie. The same high pitched scream. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Made me giggle every time. I liked thought it was funny. I like
I,
when
I'm
people
I'm I'm glad you thought it's funny. I'm glad you I'm glad you
it's
like.
like it's like uh in Stranger Things when they have like Caleb scream or something. You're like, whoa.
And that's the thing. When he screams, they don't do it every 5 minutes. They save the right moments for him to scream, and it comes off funny or shocking and stuff like that. So it works. It does not work when he does it every time he sees a dinosaur. I don't.
Okay,
It doesn't work. This is my
I
opinion.
get that.
Okay. So getting to that whole sequence of them escaping with the volcano. So yeah, of course, there's no surprise that the hunters betrayed them, getting Lost World vibes, as I said. But okay, so I know for a lot of people, the highlight of this movie was that volcano sequence. It was a very intense. It was very thrilling. There was some legit terror with the dinosaurs. I'll give them that. But that entire sequence, how it's staged out, is very idiotic. It's very idiotic. First of all, the physics, the physics out the window, out the window in this movie. It is borderlining Fast and Furious logic. And it's very convenient because they're both made by the same studio. Thanks, Universal. But, okay.
I
So,
Universal.
Universal. I love their parks. I always love their parks. And
Oh
I love
yeah.
Back to the Future. But
Yep.
like, man, okay, so when Ken, the hunter dude, shoots Owen with the tranquilizer, that tranquilizer is powerful enough to take down a dinosaur, right? But Ken shoots Owen straight up in the neck. And what does he do? It just makes him numb. It doesn't kill him. It doesn't poison him severely. He's just is numb from the neck down. And then eventually, like probably like 30 minutes later, he's able to get feeling in his body again. But a tranquilizer powerful enough to take down a dinosaur doesn't kill Owen when he gets shot in the neck.
I will say that scene too, when he starts to wake up and the lava's coming down, it's like, how did he not catch on fire when he's like near lava? I don't know.
Yeah, like he
I mean,
should be like Anakin Skywalker in Revenge of the Sith.
like,
Like half his body should be burnt
I
by.
guess so, because it's that hot, right? I mean, I'm not
It's
a
that hot. If like
geologist, but
yeah,
okay.
if you're within even 5 feet from the volcano, you're going to feel it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, eventually, like, you can catch up because people are flammable, like, naturally. So,
Right. Exactly.
yeah, if you're that close to that, yeah, I remember watching it and I'm like, when did he like catch on fire?
It's
But
some Looney Tunes cartoon stuff when he's getting feeling and he's trying to move from the lava. I'm like, what is going on right now? But okay, so that, and then when the volcano erupts, the smoke from the volcano, when they're running, and they fall into the lake or whatever, and Owen's running, and Claire and Franklin are in the spear, and the smoke consumes them. Owen should be dropped dead at that point. When the smoke, he gets in contact with the smoke. First of all, he should be coughing his lungs out, and then he suffocates and dies from the smoke in the volcanoes when all of them are running. Actually, on top of that, the dinosaurs that are running and consumed from the volcanic smoke also should be suffocating and dying. But no, they're all running from the smoke like it's nothing. It's just regular fog. And then the dinosaurs, when they're interacting with the dinosaurs, when they're running from him, the Carnotaur and the T Rex doesn't like they actually are stopping to try to eat them. No, they are running for their lives. They should be following their instincts. They should not be caring about humans running.
I
They should.
must eat the people first and then
No,
save my
that's
life.
not how that works. Dinosaurs should not care about food at that point. They should be caring about survival. Like, they should not be stopping and be like, oh, humans, let me get a snack before I die.
The last meal.
The last
Finally. Oh,
Oh, that one shot that's for that shot that's Lily made for the trailer, like when the Carnotaur is about to eat Owen, but then the T Rex puts his foot on the Carnotaur's neck and you get the roar. I'm like, okay, that's a cool shot, but why would the T Rex stop to stomp on the Carnotaur and do this epic roar in front of the volcano? Because that's a cool shot and we need it for the trailer. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Okay, and then when Claire and Franklin are in that facility trying to escape, and the lava starts pouring into the facility, and then there's this other like big, long beaked, um, like carnivore dinosaur trying to escape from them. So the dinosaur doesn't react to the lava just spewing lava right in front of them. Like instinctually, if it's an animal, it should be like, oh, lava? Nope, I'm going the other way. But no, once again, no, I have to eat the humans in front of me, even though my life is in danger. And then Franklin, being the scaredy bitch that he is, when they're about to go up on the ladder and stuff like that, he doesn't immediately just go up to safety. He has to look at the dinosaur eye to eye, scream at it for 5 seconds, and then I have to move. Ah! Why do people think this is better than the first one? Why do people think this is better than the first Jurassic World?
People think that.
Yes, people think this is better than the first Jurassic World.
Okay.
Because it's different.
It's different. No, it's not.
It's not.
Actually, in fact, here's like the one of the biggest issues that I had with this film was that it was consistently copying really cool and unique things that they had in Jurassic Park 1 and like copy and pasting it directly, especially into the mansion scene. We get like the kitchen, cabinet like not closing, but now it's like a dumbwaiter. We've got that. We've got um the Indoraptor just tapping its claw. That happened like 4 times
Oh
in
my
Fallen
god.
Kingdom. And I
Yeah.
was like, it wasn't even that clever in the first one to have that illusion for like the raptors in the first one because it was cool when like the raptors did it in the first one. Like it was kind of funny.
Mhm.
Um but like so to have the Indoraptor do that in Fallen Kingdom, the first time I was like, "Oh, whatever." But like after like 4 times, I was like, "I have had enough." Please stop that. Like it was so much.
Oh,
So it was just like, there's just so much that they copied in especially the original that they just pasted into this. So people saying that this is new and like, we've never seen this before. Like I can't disagree with you more. I
yeah.
really can't. This is like a copy and paste of like Jurassic Park 1, 2, and 3, and a little bit of Jurassic World, and paste it directly into Fallen Kingdom. Like, I really don't see that there's a lot of new stuff happening here.
No, there's
It's
not.
really not.
No.
So that's funny. That's funny. People amuse me. I like that.